Thanks for the support as a channel member, John Howells. For the first time in the club's history today, we play in the 4th round of the FA Cup, which is mad. Hopefully we're going to make lots of money. We've got a game against Lynn coming up as well. What an episode. Maybe you could celebrate by buying a shirt. Link in the description. Hello and welcome to part 23 of Bourne Again. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we face Brentford away in the 4th round of the FA Cup Plus. Assuming we don't go to a replay with Brentford, we'll be playing Lynn in the league. Obviously, the ideal, I guess, would be 2 games against Brentford. As ever, just to check in on the financial situation pre and post big cup game, we've got a balance of £384,000 at the moment, largely because of those previous games. We have obviously played just the one game since the Bristol City game before as well, so we are still trying to get promoted. Apologies for the rain in a flat roofed garage. It's going to be a little loud at times like this, but that is the league situation. So we do need to make sure we don't get completely distracted by the FA Cup and forget that we need to get promotion this year as well. But the league seems to be going okay and largely taking care of itself, so we can afford to get a little bit excited about the FA Cup today. And this is the team that we're putting out there to play against Brentford. 4th round of the FA Cup is mad. We've got Griffin in goal, a back four of Garrett, Morrison, Bartley and White, Cannon at the base of the midfield, Mariah Welsh and Mundell in the middle of midfield with Ford, Plange and Sati as today's front three. Let's get into the game as the rain comes down heavier and heavier. Hopefully it'll be raining in the match as well, so the noise you can hear becomes a little bit more atmospheric. Normally I would just stop recording and wait for the rain to stop, but I'm recording this. I've just told them they should win because I was talking about the rain. Oh no. Can I have a do-over? I've stressed them out. We've done so well with underdog team talks. The rain has ruined me. I'm recording this just before I left for VidCon, where I've been over the weekend. So the only way you were getting an episode today is for me to record it right now. So yeah, apologies for the noise. It was either this or no video. Looking at it now, I kind of wish I'd gone with the no video option, because then I would have been paying attention enough to tell them they were underdogs. But, I mean, we've started reasonably well. We've not conceded a goal yet. Griffin with a very weird version of a save, but it was strangely effective, punching the ball back out of the area again. But there is the first of what I assume is going to be many goals for Brentford, and I can't help but think it's all my fault. That was the first weird save, but all it really did was set them up to have another go. That's exactly what they've done, and yeah. What can I say? What can I say? Calm them down? Oh dear. It's going to be one of those days, isn't it? 2-0 to Brentford. I don't think this is all my fault. I think this is what should have happened in the last round. I don't want to see your replays. 2-0 down. We are in the Conference North. They are in the Championship. We're supposed to get absolutely battered, and we are only here for the money. But I was so proud of how well they did in the last round. Sati's now picked up a knock. We'll let him attempt to score quickly and then take him off. Yeah, there you go. He attempted it. He failed it. So we're going to take him off. We've got Williams on the bench. It just seems silly when we're so blessed with top quality right wingers at Bourne. If one of them picks up a slight knock, it just seems silly to keep them on the pitch because we've got so many other options. Mariah Welsh plays it out, looking for Sati before he goes off, doesn't find him. We should probably go down the wing where there's no injured player currently. That would be my recommendation, but, you know, I'm only the manager. Why do I get a vote? Griffin plays it forward for Ford. Ford flicks on to Plange. Plange trying to play Mariah Welsh in, but can't quite get there, and Brentford are through again, and Griffin not able to make the save, and it's 3-0 to Brentford on the 31-minute mark. And yeah, we're not going to sit and watch all these replays because I suspect there's going to be several more goals. I mean, Mansfield are losing 4-1 at home, so I think we're doing better than them still. Even if we were to lose like 6-0, there's no shame in that. Getting to this stage of the competition has been fantastic. Let's do the proper underdogs team talk. There you go. So I've relaxed them now. Probably too little too late. But more importantly, we need to check out what the attendance is. We want like a big 15, 20, less than 10,000. Pathetic. Utterly pathetic. Garrett collects the loose ball from the free kick there. And we've got a little bit of a counter-attack on here. Garrett is charging through. What has got into Garrett? Imagine if he scores there and it very nearly ends up in the back of the net from the attempt at some defending from the Brentford player who nearly ran it into his own net. But that was nothing I've ever seen from Garrett before. I didn't know he had that in him. I wonder if we should be attacking. Have we got a chance here? If we were to score now, I think I'd go attacking and just give it a go. But I am still, like I said before the match, thinking in terms of the league, and we don't want to be completely embarrassed and ruin our morale and momentum. I'd like to think in real life, if Bourne got to the 4th round of the FA Cup and were away from home against a championship team, more than 470 people would go. I live about 10 miles from Bourne. I'd go. I'd be interested. I'd go and have a little look to cheer him on, to see what was going on. Right, we're going to take off Mariah Welsh, and we are also. I want to get Zach Brown on. Zach Brown deserves to play in a game like this, so he can come on in that central midfield as well. We'll swap those two over, and we'll just, I don't know, encourage. Is encourage a good one to do? That's fired up Plange. It's fired up Bartley. So it fired up our two best players. So I guess it's not a disaster. But this game has been, and I can't help but think that first half was all my fault. I'll never own up to the players that it was my fault. There you go. I can't fault you for effort, but that switched them off as well. They've got a bit too big for their boots, haven't they? More importantly, how much money did we make? Up to just shy of £500,000. That has been a successful cup run. We started that cup run overdrawn. We've now got £500,000 in the bank. It makes that so much easier to stomach for Sir Mick Powell, I'm sure. But now we focus back in again on the league and hopefully pick up a win against Kings Lynn so that we don't have that. I mean, I'd rather get promoted than have the money. So could we bribe someone? Do the league want £500,000 to guarantee us promotion? I'd be up for that. Couple of changes for the Kings Lynn game. Then Williams comes in for the injured Sati, who, I mean, it's not a bad injury. In fact, how did I forget to mention this before the last match? Sati might be leaving. We've had £250,000 offers from him from the Football League. So that might have been the last you've seen of Sati. I'm just going to drop that in there. I've got to stop playing the in-between bits late at night. Yeah, he's not fit to play, but yeah. 250,000 flat fee offer from MK Dons, 170,000 plus add-ons to get up to 250,000 from Sheffield Wednesday, both of them with a 40% sell on as well. So Sati might be the first player to leave for big money. So you might have seen the end of him. Williams comes in on the right hand side though. It's the best outcome for everybody because Williams is the one who's supposed to be better than him. So gives Williams a chance to get a run of games in the team. And we're also pushing Mundell up front. He's played there a couple of times. If we have a little look, you'll see that we've played him a few times up front, mainly when he's come off the bench. But Plange isn't in the best of form. Hasn't scored for a little while, but I don't want to take him out of the team. So he can go out to the left-hand side. Mundell can go up front. It gives me a way to get Goodman into the team as well, who's another player who he's pushing for playing time. So we have to get him in somehow, and he's on the transfer list at his own request. And you can see there's clubs in for him. But if he ends up being any good, then we're obviously going to want to keep him because as we've shown with Sati, I don't know if it's because of the cup run or I don't know, but somehow we're at a point where we can actually get some decent fees for some of our players now. So the ones that have got a decent amount of potential, we want to be keeping them around, giving them game time, putting them in the shop window and keeping the club ticking over with transfer fees and cup runs. Because as you've seen from how poor our attendances are in these big games, we're never going to be a sustainable club just on attendances alone. Certainly not for many, many years. Mariah Welsh with an absolute sitter there, and he should be kicking himself that he's not scored because he He as good as had an open goal to shoot into. He aimed for the one spot where their goalkeeper was. And that is a very poor pass from, I think it was White, trying to casually knock it back across the back four. Misjudged it completely, and we've got away with it a little bit there. The ball is bobbing around in the penalty area. It's not Mundell who's pushed the keeper there. I did see the push on the keeper, so I'm not going to argue too much. We don't even get to see it disallowed, but presumably it was one of the big lads like Bartley or Morrison or Plange shoving the keeper out of the way. Mundell did tuck it away, but alas, 'twas not to be. One thing I do need to address while we're playing Kings Lynn, we'll do it after this highlight. Every time we've played them recently, what a finish from Goodman. There you go. That's why we've got him in the team. We'll come back to talking about Kings Lynn in a second, but that is a lovely strike from Sean Goodman. We'll have a look at it from the other angle. So it's the throw from Garrett, Plange out wide, plays it across nicely. It's cleared as far as Goodman, who wasn't missing from there. That was an excellent finish. But every time we play Kings Lynn, people ask about this fella. That's who he is. I don't know if it's the same one who's a wonder kid at Barcelona or Paris Saint-Germain or somewhere, or if this is a different fella. But that's him, and he's obviously not very good because he plays for Kings Lynn and he's been there for years. But every time we play them, people mention him. So you can now let me know if he is the famous one that you're all thinking of, because I obviously have never heard of the famous one or him, but thought I should just address it. Goodman now with the opportunity to grab his second of the game. His first goal was with his left foot. He's taken that free kick with his right. If that finish that he scored with was on his weak foot, the man is an absolute monster. You shouldn't be able to hit it that hard with your weak foot. But I guess he did. And we go in at half-time, 1-0 up. So we'll do the typical don't get complacent team talk. As it stands, this would put us back up to the top of the league with a 2-point cushion and a game in hand. So looking very good for going up as champions, which obviously is the goal. If we can get the Sati money with the FA Cup money and a promotion, this could be like the greatest season anyone's ever had playing Football Manager. It will never be beaten. I know there'll be seasons where we'll get promoted to higher leagues, but this is going really rather well at the moment. I'm assuming the rug is going to be pulled out from under us in a minute and something's going to go wrong. But for now, we're just cruising along nicely. Morrison plays it forward to Mundell. Mundell can't quite get the shot away, but Goodman is there. And what an inspired decision bringing Goodman into the team is turning out to be. Get that boy off the transfer list. Get him some game time. Mundell's going to have to play up front because Mundell's too good to take out of the team. I guess there's an argument Mariah Welsh could maybe go out wide and Plange could go back up front, but this is working today. We're away from home against Kings Lynn. We're playing very well. Goodman's having an absolute storming game, and I mean, this is an 11. Seems to work, even though it seems to have multiple players playing weirdly out of position. But if it works, it works. I'm not going to argue. Morrison plays it all the way back to Griffin. Griffin has a little look up. He's just going to take his time. There's no rush for Griffin at the moment. Plange has got himself sent off there, I think. It does seem a little bit harsh to pick up a second yellow card for a little push, but I think that's exactly what's happened. And Luke Plange has been sent off. I said it was all going to go wrong in a minute. And here it goes, boys and girls. Buckle up. It's going to be a wild ride. Oh, right. What do we do? What do we do? Adebisi can play left midfield. What I might do, can Williams play right midfield? Because I might just leave Mundell up on his own and drop to a flat midfield 4. He can. So if we bring him back here and then bring him on there, and Mundell, even though he's not a striker, he's going to have to play up front on his own. We'll go cautious and hopefully we'll be all right. I think I probably need to take Mundell off and bring Randall on, so we've got a proper striker if he's up there on his own. So Randall can come on for him. And I think we'll drop a little bit of praise because we are still 2-0 up. Yes, we're not playing as well as we were before, but let's fire them up. They're fired up. We're fired up. Everyone's fired up. And we're going to make our final change, which is going to be Henry coming on for Mariah Welsh in the midfield. Do we want to swap those two over? I think we probably do. And thankfully, Goodman was having the game of his life. There's some fancy names in this Kings Lynn team. They've got a Neves as well. It's like they're picking their players based on their name rather than if they're any good, which it's like the opposite of how I do things because I don't know any names. White can't get the crossover, and we've left ourselves in a little bit of trouble here because we've pushed very far forward on that right-hand side. Luckily, Kings Lynn look really poor. This is a very poor Kings Lynn side. Bartley gets it clear. Kings Lynn get another opportunity to shoot, but it just goes wide. It's a little bit sad seeing Kings Lynn in this state after how good they are in non-League to Legends. Still a firmly established League 2 team in that save. All thanks to Kev. Even though I only got them. Oh, hello. That has been disallowed for offside. That is possibly the most unfair decision in the history of the world. And we don't even get a replay. What has happened to replays today? We've had a disallowed goal, 2 disallowed goals, and not got a replay for either of them. Have replays to... Oh, look at Goodman again. Why have we not been playing that man? He's awesome. Randall is in now. Randall shoots, and it's just over from Randall. And I think that's likely to be the last attack of the game. It's not, because we've got another opportunity through Goodman. Forward to Randall again. Goodman's continuing his run, but so is Henry. Henry is in loads of space. Henry should have scored. I think if Goodman gets in that position, that's his hat-trick, and he's off the transfer list immediately. But that was a good result. We're back to the top of the league. We'll pretend the team talk in the first match never happened, and by the next episode, we're likely to have sold Sati, which theoretically would give me a little bit of money to spend as well, but it will solve that problem, help solve this problem, and we'll come back somewhere in here. I think we're probably looking at two more episodes this season, so we'll be somewhere in there with some transfer news, I dare say. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos, and thank you very much for watching.